It just took off. People took it to heart. It rang true with so many people, and along the line, I have never been. I've never been the type to worry about, what if somebody else tries to do it. I do what I do, and that's it. If people like it, they like it. It's not for everybody. I've had people say they don't appreciate it, but that's okay. That's what other comedians are for. Just like my music, not everybody appreciates the style that I play, but it's for the people that do.
Well, we sure love it. I
Well,
love it. It's great, and it's laughter is good medicine for the heart, isn't that right?
Laughter and music, they're both universal languages, and in my music, I try. My focus is on original music, so I've written several songs, and I've had a lot of my different friends, like Darren Cordova has recorded 4 or 5 of the songs I've written.
So you are also a composer, so you
Yes.
can add that to your long list. So some of these songs that you've written and sang are sort of like, is it La Chocolata?
No, that's not my. That's a really old standard.
Which
But
ones are
I've-
some that you've written?
I wrote probably the one that's most recognized is a song called Mia, and this song Darren Cordova recorded it, and he made it the title track of one of his releases, probably 3 years ago, I would say.
Is that your favorite song?
Well, it's one of my favorite songs.
Do we have a sample of your beautiful voice?
Well,
Or do you need your accordion?
yeah, I need
and,
it.
and I should have told you to bring that, and I didn't even think of it.
Well, maybe we need to come back then with
Yes,
the
absolutely.
with the trio.
Absolutely. And speaking of your trio, before I didn't mean to interrupt, but there was one of the gentlemen at the theater that day that was going to go off to the service. Did he go? Or
Yeah, he's actually we met up yesterday, and he's in the process of I guess swearing in pretty soon. So
oh my goodness, we wish
he'll
him
be serving
well.
our country soon, and we appreciate it. Matt Martinez from Las Vegas.
Is that from the owner of the radio station? Or a
No,
different one?
there's so many Matt Martinez's.
That's part of your comedian
Yeah,
stint.
but yeah, Matthew Martinez is he plays the guitar in the trio, and
It was an excellent performance that night.
it was a
Just
lot of
so
fun.
entertaining. I think you belong in Hollywood.
Well, thank you. It's such a great venue. Not too many people know about it. But what I really appreciate is that George is reaching out to the Hispanic community, and
What's George's last name? He
George
owns a
Martin.
theater. George Martin.
George Martin, and
Good for
of
him.
course we all know he's the author of Game of Thrones, and there's
We
a
better
whole
interview him too.
TV show behind that, and it's quite a big deal. I mean, now that is something to
I think we're going to have to turn this show into an entertainment venue and informational
Yeah.
piece. So, feature our locals. I didn't realize he was the...
Yeah, and it was an honor for me because my friend Elias Gallegos works there for George, Elias and Leonor, and he told me George is going to be here tonight. He's a fan of your comedy, so it's pretty cool to know that, and I got to meet him, and I think he was kind of surprised because first he met Carlos and we sang, and then Graviel walks out. And
How do you do that transition? Because people, I think, were kind of confused. They said, this can't be the same guy. I said, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is the same guy.
yeah, it's
So how do you do that? We should talk a little about all this, the transition from the handsome cowboy to the
to
cholo.
the crazy cholo. Well, it just after I uploaded that first skit, and we started recording more and more, I had to come up with an image because nobody knew who Graviel de la Plaga was, what he looked like, and I've always had this image of sometimes it's hard to admit, but I guess Graviel is really a part of me. I really can't explain what part he is or or where he exists, but it's very real, and sometimes it's so real that it's scary. I had one time I did this skit with Graviel has a girlfriend, and her name is Ramona Jamona, and we'll stop there.
That means ham.
Yeah. And anyway, so it's basically Graviel dressed in drag, and I did my own makeup, and so I did the typical like chola makeup or whatever, and it was a public announcement from Ramona warning every other girl that Graviel de la Plaga is her man. So anyway, I'm doing this at home, and I have a house in Rivera, in El Coruco, actually is the name of the little town I live in. And people ask me, where is El Coruco? And I tell them it's a suburb of Rivera.
There's Coruco in Espinoza too.
Yes, so this is the one up by Rivera. And all these at this time I'm doing video, and it's just on my cell phone, and it's very low quality stuff as far as recording goes, but I think that rings true to people too, because it's just so like homemade, homespun. So I'm at home, and my mom was visiting my aunt, my tia next door. So when she gets back, I had just finished recording the Ramona Jamona video, and I'm still with this wig, and I have this makeup, and she almost died.
She said,
she was like, "What are you doing?" And anyway, there's a part in that video, and people love that video. They always ask me, "When are you gonna bring Ramona Jamona back?" And the reason I don't is because there's a point in that video where it just felt to me, when I watch it, it feels like I stop being me, and that kind of takes over. So there's a little bit of a struggle within my head when it comes to these characters, and I just think the more you do it, the more real they become, and sometimes I truly feel 100% like Graviel. I wake up in that mood, and I dress that way, and I'll go around town, and people recognize me. So it's.
And this is Gabriel.
Yeah. So I decided one day to give him an image, and and I always like the paño look, and then the slides, because Graviel is it's pretty low income, and we call these. Within my friends, my inner circle, we call these welfare shoes, because they're $4.99 at Walmart. And then Graviel is always proud to represent New Mexico, so he's always wearing the Zia, the New Mexico flag. And then this came about a little later, after I had developed somewhat of a fan base. People started sending me paños, just different colors, and I probably had a 4-foot stack of paños, these bandanas. So one day my tia Lola, she made Dominic and she made us little blankets. Tia Lola still thinks Dominic and I are little boys, so she still makes us stuff like that. She made us a blanket. She made us pillows, and then one day I went over, and she had made this is like the third one she made. The first one is different colored paños.
What does it say?
This is a bandana somebody sent me.
Oh my goodness.
It says Graviel de la Plaga, Puro Norte.
Oh.
And when I hear Puro Norte, it reminds me of my good friend Johnny Sanchez, and that's the name of his band. So I just want to send a shout out to Johnny Sanchez in Puro Norte. But the people that sent me this bandana were proud that I represent the Norte. So
I love it. That is so awesome.
And so Tia Lola incorporated it into this shirt, and so that's become the image
Your trademark.
that Graviel.
When do we get a sample of this wonderful, your comedian inside there?
Well, as far as performances, or
Well, no. I mean, like now, can we have a sample of some of your dynamic?
well, Donamic's my primo, and he all. I mean, so these characters exist in real life in some way, but we just have to change the names to
protect the innocent.
myself, because I don't want
love
any, And so Donamic is a real person, and he is my primo, but the way he speaks is
exactly
different,
like okay,
yeah,
real
so
deep voice.
he talks he's all calmao, and Donamic is a little older, so he always took care of Graviel, and they always looked out for each other, and so if you've been to my comedy show, you know that Donamic and I grew up like brothers, or Donamic and Graviel did. Donamic's mom died when he was born because he weighed 15 pounds 10 ounces. And my mom is in Grants in the female correction facility because she was running an illegal pharmaceutical distribution business. And so she's almost out. But so Grandma Tia Lola raised both of us, and she did the best she could. She's way older, and but she never let up. She made sure she raised us.
That you had food on the table.
Yeah, she raised us
right. A lot
right.
of people are raised by their grandparents. A lot.
And people ask me, well, how is she your grandma and your tia? And so that goes to Norte genealogy. It's because everybody in the plaga is related. So that's how you end up with a Grandma Tia Lola. The real story you'll have to get at one of my comedy shows. I don't think we can we can talk about that on public TV. Yeah.
What is there that we can? Because we only have a few minutes, and I'd love for people to know who Carlos Medina is and more. I mean, just how hilarious you are, how much you are good for the soul. Give us a sample of Dillard's.
Well, the Dillard skit was. That's a real phone call.
That was a real phone call.
That's a real phone call.
No.
And
the girl was pretending she could understand what you were saying.
Well, she
Kind of.
she did well, but I kept her on the line. It's about a 5-minute call. There's no editing as far as a conversation, and we really were looking for a perfume for Tia Lola, because she does when we go to rosaries or velorios. She's like. And Tia Lola talks like that. And she likes the way it smells. So me and Donamic decided we're going to call around and see if anybody will fall for it. If there's a perfume that smells like Dijunto.
That is
and so this
priceless.
lady kept, she stayed on the line, and she was like, oh yeah, I think it's Easy Miyake. And so I just threw in the keke, the huaracayaki, the teriyaki. And it was a lot of fun because she never gave up. And one day I want to meet her. I think, she's probably still working at Dillard's. And the Dillard's we called was a Dillard's in Clovis, New Mexico. So it was such a funny phone call. But now we're just I'm working on a new CD, a new comedy CD, a new trio CD. As a matter of fact, after we're done here, I'm heading to Albuquerque to record some songs on my new CD. But that's, in a nutshell, that's how Graviel de la Plaga was born. I guess he was always in my head, and it just took having a little extra time that day to come out, and I had no clue that it would ever become what it is today. And like I said, I've never considered myself a comedian. One day, these two gentlemen from here from Santa Fe called me, and we all know Vince Kodlubeck now. He's he is the force behind Meow Wolf. And a good friend of his, Maxwell Lucas. Those were the first two people to ever ask me if I wanted to do a stand-up show, a stand-up comedy in Santa Fe at the Skylight. And I drove here. I was going to get 10 minutes at the beginning. And when I get here, there's a bunch of people that were actually waiting for Gabriel. So I ended up being the headliner. And that was the first time anybody approached me about doing a reality show.
Well, hey, let's get her done. I think you're ready. I think you're ready for the big time, big screen.
We ended up turning that offer down because it would have meant moving to California.
And you want to stay in
New Mexico. I want to stay here. So now a good friend of mine, Joe Dean, and I wrote a script for a TV show, and I'm proud to say that we've started filming here in Santa Fe, and to be continued.
Well, we're certainly going to follow your career, and we're going to certainly cheer you on. I want to thank you for being here. You are coming back, so
for sure.
We will have a part 2 of this program, so we can have the accordion and the band, and you can hear them. You can also hear them at my swearing-in ceremony on December 30th at 2 o'clock. I'm fortunate to have you play for my big day of inauguration. So thank you for being here today. And I'm sorry we've run out of time. If you'd like to appear on my program, please call us at 827-4533. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.